All right, back for part two of video game enemies. I think we're starting with Fallout this time, and then we'll probably get through Fallout. I think Horizon games after that, and then we'll try to get down to where we can start with Mario the next time. Maybe we'll do that and see if we can get through it all. So just a reminder, I've got the super stress me out category. We've only got a couple in those so far. Anxiety inducing, those that kind of freaked me out, still probably freak me out a little bit. Those that I brace myself for, like I got to be mentally prepped for, cautious with, where it's like just don't screw up too much. Didn't sweat it, don't sweat it. Where even if you screw up, it's not too bad. Um, Definitely going to have some calibration. I always say that toward the end, where I see some of these where I'm definitely going to move up or down categories once I put it all together. But this is the first stab at it. Okay, so we're at Fallout 4. Never played Fallout 1, 2, 3, or New Vegas. It's another one, 76 or something like that. It's Fallout 4 is the only one I played. I love this game, and I know it's not everybody's favorite, but I this is like the first big open world game I probably played that was more realistic, so not a Zelda or something like that. And Thought it had a lot of cool dynamics, cool enemies. The atmosphere's great, post apocalyptic, but still there's society and things around. So you got human type enemies in it, you got mutant type enemies in it, you got zombies, you got animals, and kind of mutated monster type enemies as well as robots. So a lot of different styles and things you got to fight. Some of what's going to come up in this is like the difficulty of them, their movement, like how weird it is, and how intimidating it feels when they're attacking you. I can tell you, just based on the enemies themselves, like I'm going to have more toward the top from this game because it is anxiety inducing for me when I run into some of these enemies and I like panic and try to get away or don't know what gun to pull out or like how to deal with it. But we'll talk through those. All right. So again, I've got like a cheat sheet over here that if I forget names, this one's probably a little bit easier for me. This is the Angler. I haven't fought this one as much. It's in the Far Harbor DLC. How it works. There was one section of the game where I was a little bit more leery of these when I was first playing Far Harbor. But you see the little light on their head. I think it sticks out of the water, and then if you get close to it, you can, it'll pop out and attack you. Now, the one thing with Fallout, and I am a very cautious player, where they have something called VATS, where if you hit like the top left button, it finds enemies and targets them, and then you can like pick where you want to shoot them. You only have so many points you can do it with, so it's not like something you can always do. But the one thing you can do is always hit your VATS button or keep hitting it if you're in an area where you're worried that there's something that's going to like jump out, or you're not sure if that light that's sticking out's an angler. It'll find it. Fallout is also a game, I will say, where if I'm in power armor, so I'm not just my normal self with my uh, normal armor and normal guns, but I'm in power armor, I feel much more like safe. It's just huge and difficult to get killed, and you don't feel like you're getting hit directly. So I do that, and I tend to wear power armor, and I tend to have VATS where I just keep hitting it. So even something like an angler that might jump out, it's like, oh, okay, I gotta. I know that's one. It's not just the light sticking out of the water. So with the Angler, I will say I still brace myself for it because I know they're going to jump out and they're going to come after me. So I will have the Angler there. Okay, this easy looking robot, Assaultron, is anything but to me. This thing freaks me out every time. It's fast. It moves fast. The first time I ran into one, I had no idea what it was. I started getting like a buzzing sound that was getting louder, and I realized their eye was getting uh, redder. And it's like Cyclops on the X Men, and they just blasted me and killed me immediately. It's like one shot at me. They also have little moving cans where they get close to you, they'll like, it's like a, a little saw or something that goes after you. So they freaked me out a little bit, and I still don't like them to this point, to this day. I'd say they're anxiety inducing for me. All right. This is just an attack dog. So for some of the raiders are just the humans that live out in the wild and have their own society of nomad life. The attack dog, they can be pretty quick. They can run up on you, jump up on you, but I really don't sweat them. If I see them coming, they're kind of easy to take out. I don't worry about them too much. This is the bloat fly. So there are some annoying insect type creatures here. So the bloatfly is one. It shoots an acid in your face or something that blurs your vision. They're really not that hard to take out. They're kind of fun target practice if you want to see how good you are with your gun. They move side to side, and they can be annoying. I will say I'm going to put them as cautious with. It's not like they're super hard, but they can be a problem if you're like in an area with other villains and they're hitting you too. Okay, I think this is the blood bug. So the blood bug kind of comes and tries to sap your blood. It's like a mosquito. So blood bug is probably a similar thing to bloodfly for me. They fly around. They're annoying. It's not like I just don't think of them, but I got to shoot them out of the air or hit them with bats or whatever. All right, this little critter is the blood worm. Now, I think the bloodworm is only from the DLC Nuka World, where you're like in a theme park and there's different parts of the theme park. There's like Wild West land, Space Land. It's like Disney World or something, right? So I didn't know what these things were, and I walked into Wild West town, and it's like infested with these things, and it's like tremors. They pop out of the ground out of nowhere. And so even if I'm like pressing VATS, it doesn't pick them up. And then all of a sudden I got a bloodworm jumping out right in front of me, freaked me out. Still don't like it. So I'd say anxiety inducing for the bloodworm, as dumb as it is. They're not hard to kill. But when I'm going through the town, I'm like cautious about, are they going to jump out of the ground anywhere? Am I really afraid they're going to like take me out and kill me? Not really, but I don't even like getting hit. So, I'm just like, be aware of those things. All right, this is a cave cricket, I think. A little cautious around those as well. They're pretty big, but they're not super fast, if I recall. Don't worry about them too much. I think most of their attack is just stabbing at you. I don't think they've got something to shoot, unless I'm mistaken. They got a horn on their head. I think this Children of Adam. Okay, so Children of Adam are people that are in a cult. They worship Atom, ATOM, like nuclear stuff. You do run into like them more in Far Harbor of their base, and you can become one of them, I think, or join their group. But they shoot radiation or use radiation guns, and they can be tricky. There's one level or one part of the world I remember that's like a lighthouse base that I had to take over. And these suckers just kept coming out of everywhere and hit me with a ton of radiation, and were tricky to deal with. I will say I brace myself for them because they are a little annoying compared to other human enemies. Okay, this is the Deathclaw, a classic Fallout villain. If you don't play Fallout, this is one you might see out in the world. They are a giant monstrosity. Want to say they're like created by the government or something. It's like a war machine. The first exposure I ever had to a Deathclaw, and I had never played Fallout. I didn't know anything about Fallout. I had the game. I go to the second city, walk down the road and get to Concord, I think is what it was. So you go in, you save the folks. I get up on the roof and I put my power armor, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And then all of a sudden you hear something down the road and see like a car fly, and I'm like, what the hell is this thing? It's a Deathclaw. And so I was like, well, I've got to try to take this thing out. So I jumped down. It is super fast, jumping all over the place, throwing crap at me. Then it gets up on top of you, and it's like literally in your face, like scratching at you and doing stuff. And I was just panicking. I was like, what the hell? And the problem is, these things are throughout the game. They do level up. All these enemies level up over time. So as much as you get stronger, you're facing like an alpha Deathclaw or whatever. And there's other parts of the game where these things are anxiety inducing. There's one that's like a witchcraft museum, and you go in and there's like a monster in it. And you don't know what it is, and like it's knocking dust off the ceiling while you're walking up, and it's a death claw and it's protecting its eggs, and it's like intense. Uh, but yeah, these suckers always freak me out, so they're in my super stress me out category, which is great. It's good villain, good enemy. Um, Okay, feral ghoul. Feral ghouls tend to be the easy cannon fodder of games, the zombie type thing. Uh, Kind of the same here, where again, if you're using vats and they're laying on the ground, and you don't know if it's truly dead or it's going to get up and attack you. When they do get up, they tend to get up slowly, and then they come real fast and they'll jump at you. Uh, One or two of them, not a problem. But there's instances where, like, when I went into the supermarket, the first supermarket, and I'm like, oh, there's one. And I took it out, and there's one. I took it out, and it's like, oh gosh, they're kind of all over. But they can sneak up on you. Like, if they wake up in another room, or they crawl out of the ceiling, or they crawl out of a window, and you don't expect them, they can get all over you, and they just keep jumping at you, and they're like up in your face. They can be a little freaky. So I'm going to give the feral ghouls some credit that I braced myself for them, because I don't like it when there's a lot of them coming at me, especially the ones crawling out of the woodwork. Um, okay, then we get to the no, that's not this is the fog crawler. Yeah. So I didn't know what a fog crawler was. You get to Far Harbor. It's in the DLC. Uh, in Fallout, you can do like you'll have missions that'll take you to something where you get introduced to some enemies or something, but you can just wander around wherever you want to go, and run into them by yourself. And this is one where I ran into it by myself. So I was walking around at night, which it's dark in Far Harbor, and all of a sudden I'm like walking by this old rickety building, and I see this giant thing like moving off to the side. I'm like, what the hell is that? What's a fog crawler? They're huge. It's a little like a swampy combo of a Mirelurk and a Deathclaw. And this thing freaked me out, and they still freak me out. I do not like fog crawlers either. A lot like the Deathclaw, they get up on you. They're huge. They're intimidating. So yeah, I will have that as a super stress me out. Okay, this is a Gator Claw. Just in one part of the game, I think Nuka World, where you are in the theme park, and this is more of an animal part of the park, I think. And then they had maybe spliced an alligator with a death claw, and they create this gator claw. Still stressful, but not as intimidating looking as the death claw to me. So I wasn't super bad with them. I will have it as the uh, I'll have it as anxiety inducing, because they are quick and they'll get up on you. All right, glowing one, and I think this might be like a infested or whatever they call him, but you can tell because it's got like more stuff on him. But he's a ghoul. He's glowing. Didn't know what a glowing one was. Going to the first military base or whatever, I go downstairs, uh, and there's ghouls all over this base, and you're just taking them out a little cautiously. And all of a sudden, this thing comes out of the bathroom. Like there's a stall, and it opens up, and this sucker walks out. And they are tough. And they most schools you can like shoot their legs out and get them on the ground. And they're still trying to attack you, but you shoot them. The glowing one, this sucker was super tough. And then they have bloated glowing ones. Anytime I see one within the game, I am like, stay away, keep your distance, try to pick it off. But once you get its attention, it's going to come after you. So yeah, these suckers freak me out, and they're in my super stressed me out. You can tell this is a stressful game for me. And it's not because the game is stressful, it is because the enemies within the game are stressful. Okay. Then we get to, let me see, what's this guy called? I don't remember. Is he the Gulper? Yeah. Gulpers are also in Far Harbor. They're a little easier to spot. You see them walking around. They're kind of more predictable to deal with, so they're a little more in my brace myself category, like the angler. Uh, I just know if there's a couple of them, it could be a little tough. I've been in that situation where there are two attacking me, and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm a little overwhelmed. But they're not as much of a panic-inducing attack as some of these others. All right, this is just a gunner. So the gunners are like raiders. We'll get to the raiders down below. Here's a raider, if you can see. The gunners have more military type uniforms or armor. They're tougher. You kind of have to be a little more careful with getting shot a lot compared to raiders. I'll say I'm cautious with them. It's not that they're just not a breeze, but usually you can get through gunners pretty good. I forgot about this guy, the hermit crab. So another one. This is often what happens to me within Fallout. The hermit crab is one I did not see coming. I walked up to a bus, like or a turned over truck or something, and this guy crawls out. He's a hermit crab, but he's huge, and so he's like attacking me, and I'm like panicking, trying to deal with him. Now that said, once I was exposed to it, and once I knew to look out for that with certain vehicles and things, it wasn't as bad. So I would say they're anxiety inducing, but it is not like super stressful every time for me. Okay, now we get into a group called the Mirelurks. Mirelurks are kind of an aquatic crab-like species, I guess, and there's a few different that we've got to think about here, and there's actually probably more maybe that I missed here, but five, because I got the little Mirelurk there. So we've got the Mirelurk queen is this thing, the Mirelurk king is this thing. So those are the parents essentially. You've got the Mirelurk youngling or whatever this thing's called. Let's see if I got a name for it. Hatchling. So that's the hatchling. This is the standard Mirelurk, and then here's a hunter. So the hunter is just like a soldier kind of deal. So we'll start with the original Mirelurk, just the normal Mirelurk. He makes a very creepy little clickety-clack crawling sound, and he comes at you quick and just hits you with his claws or her claws. If you hit its shell, it's not doing much damage. You got to hit its face or try to take out its limbs. It is something that I'm usually like bracing myself for, as much as they're a standard enemy, because there's different levels where you're like in the water or you're close to the water, and they're hidden a little bit, and then they pop out, or there's several of them, and once you get a few of them coming at you, it's a little intimidating. So I do brace myself for them. The hatchlings are something I don't sweat, except for yeah, I'll have them in the cautious with. So the first time was that there's like 6 eggs, like in a little hatchling area. Sometimes none of them will come out, and sometimes the eggs will explode, and you'll have hatchlings jump out at you. You think they don't jump out like an alien or anything, but they do come at you quick, and they'll just start jumping up on you. I get to the point, and the reason I'm moving to cautious with is because usually instead of walking up to the eggs where you'll see one like vibrate a little bit and they come out, I will shoot the eggs, all of them first, so I don't have to deal with them. So I will give them a little credit and say, because I do that, I'm cautious with them. So then we get to the hunter. The hunter is, he shoots at you like some spit. They're pretty quick. They move side to side. Similar to the regular Mirelurk, I kind of brace myself for it. I don't freak out, but I'm like, I got to watch out for the hunter. He's a little stronger. Then we get to the king and queen. So the king is smaller and he's quick. He can cloak himself, so sometimes you don't see him, and then all of a sudden he pops out. This guy is anxiety inducing for me. Kings are a little quicker. They'll come with a hunter or other Mirelurks usually, but they can kind of get on top of me and cause issues. So I'll have them up there. Then the Mirelurk Queen. So the Mirelurk Queen is enormous. It is this giant monstrosity. It shoots spit at you. It can put hatchlings out at you. It will come up and claw you and get in your face. Um, I don't know. I want to say the first one I fought was when I had to take over the castle, which is just part of that mission, and it was a hard fight. Like I didn't know what to do with it, and I was getting my butt kicked. But you run into these things later on too, and every time there's like one swamp area you have to clear, and all of a sudden this thing shows up, makes its screeching sound, and freaks you out, freaks me out. There's another island I had to like take over where it came out of nowhere and attacked me. There's one pond that I didn't even know what was there. It attacked. Then at the Nuka Cola plant over in the Nuka world, like there's a Nuka Mirelurk that, or a queen that popped out that was chasing me upstairs and stuff that I didn't even think it could fit on. So this sucker's always stressful, and I'm going to have it in the super stress me out category. All right. See how we're doing on time. Doing okay. Mr. Gutsy is a robot. You'll see different Mr. Gutsies around. I think there's another name for them when they're not, like Mr. Handy or something like that. If they're just a robot for your home, which one of your first companions is one of these, but it's just for your home, Codsworth. And so he's fun. He's got a British accent. He's a nice companion to have. But these guys I ran into when I ran into like a truck or something, and in the back there was an Assaultron, the one that up freaked me out. And then this guy's got a lot of machine guns. He floats around, comes at you. It's not as stressful to me as an Assaultron because they are a little bit more predictable to me, and I can know where to shoot them and take them out. I'll have them in the brace myself section, but they are still tough. All right, I'm almost embarrassed to talk about the next one, which is the mole rat. The mole rat is just a little rat or mole, and he comes out of the ground, much like the bloodworms, but they freak me out. They freaked me out when they first showed up in the game. I still don't like dealing with them. I will say, to be fair, I'm going to say they're anxiety inducing as well. They're not hard to kill, but you'll get like a brood rat mother that is stronger, and so you can't kill it in one spot or one shot. But there's some missions. There's like one in one of the Fallout shelters where you've got to go save a kid because he needs some sort of cure, but it's in this mole rat infested area, and they come out of the ground and you don't know where they are. And so they could pop up right next to you, or pop up, 5 of them over here and 2 behind you. And it's just anxiety inducing for me. I don't like dealing with mole rats. They're not like gonna kill you in one shot or anything, but they're annoying. Okay. This is a Protectron. Sometimes these guys are your friends. Sometimes they can be programmed to be your enemy. You will walk up to it. You can pull them out and help them. They'll help you fight enemies. And sometimes they've been overridden by an enemy and they're being used against you. They could be like a police officer. They could be a fireman. They could be a medical person. If they have like paddles, electric paddles they get you with, or fires, flamethrower, that kind of thing. So I'll say I was just cautious with them, though. They're slow and lumbering, and usually I can take them out without too much worry. This little guy I don't remember as much. It's a rad rat, so a lot of times these guys are like radiated, rad roach, rad scorpion. I don't sweat these guys. I don't remember them too much, so obviously I don't get too stressed out when I run into them. I've seen them, but I don't remember too much about what they do. This is the rad roach. It's the first thing you run into trying to get out of the vault. They are not tough. They will just kind of walk on the ground and then fly at you, but usually you can take them out. They're a little hard to hit, but not too bad. All right. Rat scorpions, on the other hand, are similar to the mole rat and bloodworm, where they pop out of the ground, especially in the radiated areas when you get out in the fallout areas, heavy fallout areas, and they will pop out of the ground. They have a stinger. They're pretty tough comparatively to the other ones, but for some reason they're a little bigger, and I don't have as much stress maybe as these guys. I'm going to go ahead and put them up here, but we'll see if I keep it in that section. There's usually about 2 at a time, 3 at a time, whereas some of these other ones, there could be quite a few. All right, this is the Raider. Raider's pretty standard. It's human. Like I said, they're nomadic, come in groups. They're not loyal to really anything. Another cool thing about Fallout is the enemies fight each other. So you run into a section where there happens to be a Raider and a Deathclaw, like they'll be shooting at each other or trying to fight each other. So Raiders are not that hard. I never really sweat them. This is a Rust Devil. This is part of one of the DLCs as well. So there's like a group of robots that are running amok throughout the wasteland. I don't find them to be very difficult. I will say I'm cautious with them because you might get a group of them and they might have lasers or other things, but the robots don't stress me out in those groups as much as some of the other villains or enemies we may run across just yet. But it's like a gang of robots. All right, Sentry Bot. So the Sentry Bot is this big hulking tank-like robot. Runs on wheels, but it can move in any direction. It's pretty fast. It's very heavy machine gun. A lot of things to attack you with. I think if you shoot it in the back is where its fusion core is, and it might stand a chance to blow up. But these guys are tough to take out. Usually you can see them coming a bit, so I'm going to have it as anxiety inducing, but they're still like coming up on me and I don't like that, and I got to run away and get away from them. So there's never a time where I see a Sentry Bot, I'm like, oh, okay, I got this. They are tough. All right, next we've got the Stingwing. Stingwing's a little like these guys down here, so I'm going to have him in the group with these. A little different than the Bloodbug. I think the Stingwing might fire stuff at you. Could be mistaken, but they're a little different in how they attack you. Okay, now we have a group called the Super Mutants. Super Mutants are like mutated out of the Fallout. There's different kinds of Super Mutants. I've included the main ones that I recall. So you've got a normal Super Mutant here, you've got a Suicider here, and you've got a Behemoth here. So the original Super Mutants, I don't sweat. Like I'm just used to, they'll come at you with a giant, hammer or stick or something. They're strong, they're tough, but I'm just used to them. You know where to shoot them. If you get a lot of them, it can be tough, but it's not something that stresses me out. The Suicider, on the other hand, this guy, when I first ran into him, you all of a sudden see a super mutant coming and running directly at you, not like trying to hide and shoot at you or just run at you with a stick. No, he's got a nuke, a mini nuke in his hand, and it's going tick, 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 doot, doot. And once he gets close enough, he blows up and you're dead. It's like one shot. You're dead. You got 2 options with him. That's pretty cool. One, you can try to kill him, hit him in the head, whatever, and you get a mini nuke because he drops it and it doesn't go off. The other is to shoot the mini nuke in his hand and it blows him up and everything else around it. Now, you need to do that before he gets too close. Otherwise, you're part of that. So he stresses me out. I never like to see these things. I'll say that they're anxiety-inducing as well. When you start to hear that beep, you're like, oh, God, there's a Suicider around. And it may not be someone you see or super mutant you see. It could be like coming through a different room or coming out of a building and all of a sudden it's behind you and it blows you up. So a little stressful. The Super Mutant Behemoth. So the first time I ran into this, I was not intimidated. You are in a helicopter type thing called a vertibird. You have this chain gun and your mission is you're taking out these super mutants from the sky. This thing's trying to maybe throw rocks at you or whatever. It doesn't look all that intimidating. It's like, all right, this isn't so bad. After that, it's much worse because you see them on the ground and they are huge. Now there's one who's like a boss called Swan that you're running up on him. You try to fight him and it's pretty tough. there's other instances where you don't know. One of the worst ones I ever had was I was on the north part of the map. I remember there's like a bunker, and I had to meet this guy in the bunker. This dude who had left uh, the the Brotherhood of Steel or whatever, and I think I had full health. I don't think I was very strong. I wasn't in power armor or anything. Whether I did or not, I took one step out of that bunker and all of a sudden died. And I was like, what the hell was that? It's like a foot landed on me. And it was a super mutant randomly in that part of the map. And sure enough, I came back later and found him. And it was, dude was tough to deal with. Like they're big, they're bulky, they're kind of scary to run up upon. Now, the good news is they are big. So you do kind of see them coming more or less. But yeah, I would have it up in the anxiety inducing at least for sure. And it could still move up. All right. Um, we are at the part where we're doing the synth stuff. So synths are from the Institute, super advanced technology, and there's two really we're going to worry about here. There are different types of synths, like some that are stronger or whatever, but the synth Strider, I think is what this is, which is the standard synth. I don't sweat them. I'm used to them. They just have laser pistols that aren't the strongest, but there's a lot of them. They'll keep shooting at you. Pretty tough to deal with a lot of them, but they're not that hard. Then there's the synth Courser, which looks like a human. Hard to tell that they're there, but they're very strong. They can cloak. They are tough to deal with. They don't stress me out all that much. I'll say I brace myself for them because I know a Courser's there, but it's not like something I'm panicking about. Okay, only a few more here on Fallout. Then we'll move forward. So the Wild Mongrel is just a standard dog, kind of feral dog, as opposed to the attack dog we had earlier. I don't think a mongrel that I really sweat it. And maybe if I had a attack dog higher, I can't remember where I put it, but yeah, I don't really sweat the mongrel. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so I would say it's down here. The wolf in Fallout, I don't remember as much of. I've run into them a couple times. I don't really stress out about them either. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I played Witcher. But yeah, so they're not that bad. Then we run into the what is it, Yaogui, which is a bear. It's like a radiated bear. It's maybe the Chinese word for it, something like that. These suckers are stressful. They are fast. They run at you. They are strong. They are hard to take down, just like a bear in real life. I don't like seeing them. I don't like running into them. They're an anxiety-inducing thing. Some of them are like albino. That's even worse. You get them in packs. That's even worse. They get up on you quick, and they are really strong. Okay. I think I can go forward and try to get at least Horizon done and maybe Luigi real quick. Now, there's a lot of machines in Horizon, so I included them all here. Some I might pass over quicker than others because I don't remember them that much, or they're not all that much of a threat. But I think they all warrant conversation. So Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West are great games. You're Aloy, you're a girl who's kind of ostracized from society. It's a more like thrown back, after the apocalypse, things have recovered a bit, but you are low technology, yet there's still this really advanced technology as well. And that's where humans had tried to create technology to help society go forward, but all the people who are living in these tribes are more backwards. So a lot of your weapons and things are bow and arrow, a staff or what have you, but you get advancements in what you're using. So it's a flame arrow, or it's got different powers to it. So a lot of the world is taken over by these machines. And these machines all had a purpose originally, like, oh, these machines help, make the water purified, or they make the sky clearer, or they make whatever. So the problem is they can get corrupted. and when they get corrupted, they come and attack you. Now, some are more docile, and you can actually train them or just be able to override them. If you beat them in a certain battle, you can then like put a staff into them and override them, which means they'll fight for you, or you can ride some of them. So it's a cool dynamic where they're not just villains on the map. They tend to show you where there's different packs of them. It doesn't mean that's the only place where you might find some things, but for the most part, it's like, oh, you know that the Slitherfang's over here, you know that the Tremortusk is over there, and you can prepare a bit for the battles. Some of the missions, though, that's not the case. You don't know what you're going to face, and so you are thrown into the fire. But there's different levels of these. Some of them are easier to deal with, some are harder to deal with, some are flyers, some are in the water, some are on land, but all interesting in their own right. So we'll go through Horizon. I don't know which are in which game. A lot of them are in both, but some are only in Forbidden West because it's newer. But yeah, it's a super fun game. So we start with an interesting one because for some reason I don't remember it as much. It's the Behemoth. It's a bigger, stronger, like bull-looking thing. So you'll notice a lot of them reflect an animal. Some don't, but some sort of animal, and I'm sure I'll butcher which animal in some instances. But this is a Behemoth. They're strong. They're kind of, they'll attack you and they'll try to ram you. But this isn't one that I really remember sweating about if I saw it, so I'll just say I was cautious with it. We have, I think, the Bellowback. So the Bellowback can have, if I'm not mistaken, in the back it's got like a pouch of either acid or fire or some sort of liquid, which is what it shoots or what its attack is with. You can usually target it. Each of them has a weak spot, so you have a targeting system that, depending on the type of arrow you're using or whatever, you're trying to hit certain spots. Otherwise, you do very little damage. And if you hit it, it gets aggressive and comes after you. So you want to make sure you're shooting in the right spot, that kind of thing. So the Bellowback is one, though, that I really was just cautious with. If you get in a group of them and they start to come after you with different styles of weapons, that can be a little tricky, but it doesn't stress me out that much. This was a newer one. I think it was in the DLC maybe, or just a late game of Forbidden West, where it's like a frog kind of deal. So it's a Bile Gut. This guy was, when I first ran into him, kind of tough. So I'll say I braced myself. Had some venom or something. It shot out of its mouth, jumped around pretty fast. Some of these guys are super fast. Some of them not as much, but yeah, that was one where once I ran into it, I was like, what is this thing? What's going on? He's pretty tricky. Okay, we got I get some of these mixed up because they seem the same to me. So this is the Bristleback. Bristleback is one that just seems like it's grazing the land. I think the next couple or one is at least two. So sometimes you'll just come upon these and they're ones you could ride. I think a Bristleback is one you can ride if you train him or get the override of it. In terms of attacking, I don't think it's really that tough. I'll have it as cautious with as well. Most of them I'm at least cautious with because I don't want to agitate. If there's a few around, it causes an issue. So that's one at least that I'm still a little like that with. This is the Broadhead. So the Broadhead on the other side, I would say I don't sweat. That's one that you can ride a lot. It's easy to kill if you are going to take it out. Just like a little ram almost type animal. I don't know if it's a bull or whatever, but it's not tough. The Burrower I remember being new from Forbidden West, where it comes up and scans to find you, and once it does, it alerts everything around it to come attack you. They're annoying for sure. The Burrower is not all that tough. It doesn't like jump out and surprise me as much as I would have thought like a Burrower does. For the most part, with a Burrower, I'll say I'm cautious with because I don't want to set off the alarm. I'll try. You see these tanks on the back of its back, like you can shoot off these parts, and they're stuff that you can take for your equipment. But yeah, you try to shoot them in the eye for the most part. The charger. Okay, this is the ram. This is the ram that I was thinking of. So this is more of like a little bull. The charger is one you can ride. It's like a small guy. Usually don't have to kill them. They don't attack you, but they're not very belligerent unless you force yourself to be that way. So they'll have them down here. And a lot of this is coincidental because there's some of these that freak me out. So we're going to get to them, I'm sure. Maybe starting here. So this is the Clamberjaw, I think. Clamberjaw. Yeah. And so this guy, if I recall, jumps around, has a tail that like flips around. I don't remember being too upset with him, but I'll have braced myself a little like the bile gut here. Claw Strider. So this is more like a dinosaur looking dude. Think of a Velociraptor looking guy. Little bit more stressful as well. Brace myself. Quicker, leaps at you a bit, which is part of the challenge there. All right, Corruptor. Okay, this is, I'm going to have Corruptor and Anxiety Inducing. This one could be a little bit because of where I first ran into it in the game, but I would say when I run into Corruptors, I don't like it. They're not really animal shaped to me. Maybe there is one that people are like, oh yeah, of course it's that. But it's like my village was burning down and being attacked, and those were the things that started it, and it was like chaotic. They're fast. They're like whipping their tail around. Just a lot of speed and difficulty hitting them where I needed to hit them. So I always struggle with Corruptors, and that's one that's anxiety inducing. Then we have the Deathbringer. This picture does not do it justice. It is much, much bigger. It is probably the biggest of them. And it's not, again, an animal. It's like a giant war machine. And it's got two big like platforms on it. The first time you fight it in Zero Dawn, it's in like this circular room, I think, and you're just trying to jump across these platforms to stay away from it and get shots off, and it is an anxiety-inducing fight. And anytime I run into a Deathbringer, it is anxiety-inducing for sure. I'm just trying to make sure because there should be some that are in the top category, and I got to make sure I don't put the wrong ones up there. All right, Dreadwing. It's a bat. This one might be anxiety inducing for me, so I'm going to throw it up there, and here's why. So there's instances in Forbidden West where I run into this thing and I see it hanging upside down. I'm like, oh, what the hell's that? And so then it attacks me, or I attacked it first. I don't know, but it disrupts your radar or whatever you use to know where things are, so you can lose where it's at. And it's flying and it attacks you and it comes down and hits you, and it has weapons. It's got red eyes. It's stressful. I don't like fighting these things. I'm like running around scrambling in the woods or the trees to try to get away. Yeah, for some reason that one just does it for me. Now, good news is on the flip side, this is the Fanghorn. Fanghorn is not very stressful. He's a somewhat friendly deer type dude grazing around, and unless you mess with them too much, they don't mess with you. Walking around in packs, you can shoot their antlers off, that type of thing, but I don't sweat them. Okay. Two bears here, very similar. One's a Fireclaw, one's a Frostclaw. These suckers are also huge, and these suckers also stress me out. Now, where my mind goes is I'm trying to remember if I fought too many Fireclaws, because the Frostclaw is more memorable to me, but I think there was one Fireclaw that I really remember having a good fight with. And the way that I fight some of these things, I'm very much the pick and move, like go hide. They'll calm down and not know where you are, so they don't keep attacking. But if they know where you are, they will keep doing it. And even if you're very far away, like I'd be up on a mountain with a fire claw, and then all of a sudden this giant fireball would come up and hit me. So that's my battle with the fire claw that I remember. And I'd say it was anxiety inducing. And the same with the frost claw, where fought it up on top of like a mountain, and I remember I climbed up like to the top of this peak so it would stop attacking me because it was so aggressive. And I like peeked over the edge for 2 seconds, and this freaking ice ball just like drilled me in the head and killed me, I think. So yeah, the frost claws are tough. They're giant bear, kind of like the Yaogui up there. Over here where they're tough. All right, the Glinthawk. Glinthawks I'm cautious with. They're flyers. They're not huge, not super, super aggressive, but if you get around them, they can, swoop down on you and get you. Or if you're flying, which you can fly in the game, which is awesome. They can be a bit pesky, but they're not too bad. Then we have a Grazer. I get a little confused about the difference between these two. It might just be the one's in one game and one's in the other game, but you see that they look pretty similar. I think the Grazer a little differently. When it attacks, its horns can spin. Probably. They look like they do that. I believe they have done that to me. But I don't sweat them. They're just grazing around for the most part. Okay, we have a Grimhorn. I think I have a Plowhorn in here as well, but the difference is the Grimhorn, I believe, is more of an aggressive attacking version of it, where it looks like a Triceratops, kind of, though it's not 3 horns, it's like 2 horns, but it's got the big head, kind of like it. Maybe fought it in more of one of the, I don't even remember what they call them. There's like 10 different bases you go in that are super futuristic looking inside, and you have to take out the main boss, and this is the main boss, and once you do, you can override it. So there's the Plowhorn, and here's the Grimhorn, or the what did I say this one was called? I can't even remember. Yeah, Grimhorn. So Grimhorn, I will say I brace myself for it. It's a little lumbering, so I don't stress out too much. Then we have the Lancer, I believe. Lancehorn, similar to these guys down here. Don't sweat it. He's got straight horns, maybe more of a gazelle type look than a deer. So yeah, they're pretty quick, but they'll tend to scatter and run from you more than attack. Leap lasher. I hate these dang things. Stupid leap lashers jump around. They'll just like follow a path and they're jumping, and you're like, oh, this isn't so bad. The problem is they shoot out like a sonar or something that finds you. And so if it does hit you, all of a sudden it alerts everything else to your presence. They come and attack you. They're painful to deal with, or pain in the butt, because they jump and they like swing around and hit you. I don't like these things at all. They stress me out. I'm going to say anxiety inducing. They might be on the lower end of that, but they're annoying for sure. No, that's not this one. Yeah, it is. Long leg. The long leg is like a rooster, has fire, like you can see there. It's claws at you, scratches at you. Don't like fighting these things either. I'll say it's more of something I brace myself though than what I just had with the leap lasher. Plowhorn's don't sweat. I don't even know if these suckers attack you unless you attack them. Maybe even then they don't, but they're docile and they're like plowing the ground for the most part. So their partners, the Grimhorn, are more difficult to deal with. Okay. Then we get to the Ravager, I believe. So the Ravager, there's a few of these that are more tiger-like that we're coming up on, or like wildcat, puma type deals. I think with the Ravager, I don't stress out too much with it. I'm cautious with them. They're quick. They're not super strong. They're stronger than some of their counterparts, so I might move it up a little bit, or at least be ranked higher. But I'll just go ahead and say, like, the example of the other one that I fight around there is the Scrapper, and they're just, you know, kind of scraping around. This is more like a wild cat than maybe a bigger cat. So Scrapper is kind of the same way. I just watch out for them a bit. Okay, this is this just a watcher? No, it's a red eye watcher. So red eye watchers there's a watcher and a red eye watcher. Here's the watcher, there's a red eye. Look very similar. Difference is the red eye is a little bit stronger. It's more likely to find you and to alert others. So I'm a little cautious with them. I'll just go down here and say for the watcher's a little easier to get around, and I'll have it in the don't sweat it category. Okay, these stupid enemies that jump out of the ground and scare the crap out of you. Here's a rock breaker. Rock breakers are big though. This is a giant machine. I remember fighting this sucker in the desert. I played it a little like the movie Tremors, where I went up on a mountain so it couldn't break through the rock, like found a spot it couldn't get to and kept picking at it as it would like slowly rear itself out. So yeah, I don't like these things though, and I'll say it's anxiety inducing. All right, this is a rollerback. It's like an armadillo type guy. He's middle ground, bracing myself. I think they have a pretty good attack. They're not super easy to predict, if I recall. A little hard to hit with armor, so I'm cautious when I get around them and brace, like, to make sure I have the right weapons and all that. Okay, Rockbreaker, Sawtooth, and Scorcher. Yeah, so the Sawtooth, again, a little bit more of the cat type deal. Maybe like the others. I'm trying to remember if he's a little stronger than them, but I'd say I'm just cautious with. I kind of know how to fight them. They're fast, but they're vulnerable to some spots on their back. You can kind of see it there. Okay, this guy's a Scorcher. I didn't fight them all that much. I don't remember seeing a Scorcher. I think it's probably just in Forbidden West. They are fire related, but they are a little tougher, and I'm going to say I'm going to brace myself for a Scorcher. You got to watch out. They're quick. It's like a wolf dude. So yeah, I got to be a little bit safer around them. This is a Scrounger. Scroungers are kind of a lighter version of some of these other guys. I don't struggle with them too much. You can see they're pretty small. They have one of those eyes you can target. So not super tough. Shellwalker. Shellwalker is like a crab. Can be a little tough. Got to shoot it in the right spot. It's not easy to deal with, but I would say I just brace myself for it. It's not something I'm like afraid of. I just need to get around it and move around it in the right way to deal with. On the other hand, now we have the giant turtle, Gamera-looking shell snapper, I think is what it's called. Yeah, shell snapper. This sucker's huge. He also comes out of the ground. My first battle with him was in a mission, and it was super difficult. There's like a way you can shoot it enough to knock its shell off, but it is hard. I don't even know how I won it. I had a companion or something that was also fighting it, but it was like, it took forever. And I felt like I'd use eat a million health berries or whatever you use in the game. Then there was another instance where I fought one where there was like one little mountain that I could get on. And that's the only, I had to get up on it and like hide on the other side. And it kept like finding me, and then it would come around. And I finally got to the point where I had knocked its shell off and took it out. But I try to avoid these things at all costs. And I will have that in the super stress me out section. All right. Skydrifter is a flying dude, and it's kind of like a watcher where it's just looking out for you to try to alert other ones. I don't really sweat them. I just try to avoid their little array from seeing me. Then we've got the Slaughter Spine. The Slaughter Spine is a dinosaur kind of looking dude as well. They're not easy. I kind of know how to fight them. I think you hit their tail a bit more. I'd say I brace myself for it. It's a little like the Shellwalker. Slitherfang. first thing you fight in Forbidden West, and that's probably maybe the easiest one of them to fight them. But I don't like these dang things. It's a giant cobra. They're huge, and weakness points. They've got their back. They've got their fangs. It's fun to fight, but it's stress inducing. I will say it's anxiety inducing for me on the Slitherfang. It'll snake around, get around you, and attack you. So it's tough. This guy I don't recognize. Snapmaw. Okay, yeah, Snapmaw I think is what it's called. Sure. I'm going to make sure that I get this one right. I think the picture is just throwing me off a bit on it. So the Snapmaws I don't like because they float around in the water. They're an alligator type deal, and I think it's just that its mouth's open. But I don't like these suckers because the times when I have to swim, and sometimes you got to swim and like go in ruins and try to find some stuff, these guys will just be floating around. And then they find you, they come and attack you. And like I've said on the other video, I don't like getting attacked underwater. So these guys are a little stressful for me as well. And I'm going to put it as anxiety inducing just because they're water guys. Similarly, we have a Spectre. So Spectre is not animal looking. It's more of the alien tech that it's brought back from other humans. It is fast. It can cloak. It like looks for you. It scans the water, does a bunch of stuff. They're super fast when there's a couple of them. There's one where the first time I think maybe you run into, there's two of them. And that was definitely anxiety inducing as well. Another one that I don't really recognize, those Spike Snout. Okay, Spike Snouts, I don't worry too much about. I'll say cautious with. Little predictable, easier to hit weak spots for me. Don't really stress out when I see them. I don't know what it's really supposed to be, like an armadillo or an aardvark or something. Or not an armadillo, aardvark. Okay, this sucker, Stalker. First time I ran upon a Stalker, I didn't even see it because it was cloaked and it killed me. And I'm like, what in the hell was that? So sure enough, it wasn't even like on the map. And then I walked back into it and I realized it's like Predator. This sucker is Predator. It's cloaked. You don't see it. It's around. Now when you hit it, or after a while, I think it kind of shows itself. But if you get a couple of them, it's super stressful. They have lasers like the Predator that target you and hit you. So this guy's anxiety inducing for sure. This little guy, the Sting Spawn, it's just a bug that's more of a watcher type thing, finding you. It might be a pest, but a little hard to hit. Nothing you worry about, that I worry about. All right, Stormbird. Picture does not do it justice. This sucker's enormous. And when you run into it, it's like, it's a big battle. It's like a giant bald eagle. Attacks you, by swooping down and like flapping at you and hitting you with its claws and everything. This sucker I'm going to have super stressful as well as the first, kind of like this guy, but this one you find in the first game and the second, where it is, you're like, what? I got to fight this, what's a Stormbird? And then it comes out and you're like, holy crap, this sucker's enormous. So yeah, that was stress inducing, still is when I run into those. Okay, only a few more, one more row here, and then we'll be good. This is the, let's see, what did I just do? Stalker, Sting Spawn, this is the Strider. Okay. Strider is similar to these guys up here. It's just a little different look. So this is more of a bull. This is more of a ram. This is like a small, I don't know, sheep kind of thing. I don't know. But again, you can ride it and not much to deal with. Sunwing, this is somewhat difficult. Like you want to watch out because they'll take off and start attacking you. But it's also great because once you override these, this is the first thing you use to fly. I'll say I'm cautious with them. I'm going to try to sneak up on them. But once you fly, it's awesome and they're fun to be on. A tall neck, I don't sweat. I don't even think tall necks can attack you. what they are is they are giant giraffe-like things where you have to climb up them. And part of Horizon Zero Dawn is, or Horizon games, is climbing and using footholds and handholds and making jumps. And the reason I included on here, one, it's just one of the machines, but two, you do risk falling off and dying if you don't do it right. So technically, I guess it can kill you by being tall. But if you get to the top, you override it. It helps you see the map. If you don't have it, you don't see the map. So you gotta find these suckers. All right. Thunderjaw is the first big thing you run into. I don't even know what it's supposed to be. If it's supposed to be like a T-Rex kind of looking thing, I don't know. Sucker's intimidating though. Has giant cannons. Something I've run away from. This is anxiety inducing for sure, but I'm going to have it as super stress because I still don't like running into Thunderjaws. It becomes part of your missions because it's like a super big robot you got to take out. But yeah, that's a tough one. I'll try to sneak up on it, hit it, run away, knock off its cannons. That's part of it. Like if you can knock off its weapons, it can't use a specific weapon anymore. But yeah, those suckers are stressful. Tide Ripper, it's a giant plesiosaurus looking thing. They're not fun to deal with. It's big. I'm pretty good at fighting it though, and I know how to deal with it, so I don't worry about them as much. I will still say that they're anxiety inducing because they're tough to beat. They're big, a lot of health, a lot of weapons. They're close to the water. They can jump in the water. I'll stay away from the water if they're in it for sure. But if I can get them on land, I feel pretty good about it. All right. Then we have, in this picture I can't see very well, this is a trampler. So a trampler, I don't even really remember that much, so I'm just going to put it in the don't sweat it. It looks like it's a smaller, bull-like thing too, although the red eye is a little scary. Their eyes turn red when they're belligerent to you. They're blue if they're not. Probably should have said that a long time ago. Is this the it's got to be a Tremortusk, right? Yeah. So Tremortusk is a giant mammoth. Again, I don't know that this picture clearly shows it, but when you're in the game, it looks like a giant woolly mammoth. They'll stomp around in a circle or whatever. You can avoid them for the most part, but there are a couple, or at least one mission I can think of where you have to fight it, and I did not fight it head to head. I've kept hiding and hitting and moving and getting away because that sucker was huge and weird to deal with. I will have this as super stressed me out as well. This is the, okay, only a couple more here. We'll go ahead and stop after these and just do Luigi with the Mario. It makes more sense. So Water Wing is like a Sunwing, but you can dive into the water too. So you can fly on it and then you can go into the water and come back out. It's really cool. They added that with the DLC. In terms of it attacking, it's a little like the Sunwing. I'll be cautious with it, but I'm not too intimidated by it. And then the last one that we have here is the Wide Maw. So the Wide Maw is a little like a hippo, I guess. You want to shoot it in the mouth. I think it shoots stuff out of its mouth. This is one that I kind of braced myself for. It's a bit bigger, a bit more difficult to deal with. So I have the Wide Maw there. Okay, so that takes us through Fallout as part 2. Part 3, we will go into Luigi and Mario. That might take a whole time. I don't know. There's a lot of Marios, but might get a little bit more after that. And we will stop there.